What if you had an opportunity to change the world with a small word, with a small action, with a small conversation, and with a small gesture? Do you believe that? Yes, I do believe. One small action has the power to change a person. A small conversation has the power to change a person. A small gesture can also create an impact in the mind of a person. That's why it is 100% sure that any small kind of actions can create a change. Because I am here as a clear evidence that I was a girl who didn't have the desire to dream, who was very shy, who was really afraid of saying what is her opinion about different matters in front of the public. And now I am here in front of all of you as a confident person who is speaking. Where? It's in TEDx. And before starting my story, I would like to introduce myself. I am Dr. Devi. By profession, I'm a psychologist. I want to tell you openly that it is not because of my choice or not because of my chance. It's only because of my life situations and my life experiences. Further, I specialized in pediatric neurodevelopmental disorders and worked as a pediatric early interventionist. This is also not because of a chance or not because of a choice. It's only because of my life experiences and life situations. Why I am saying like this means, my story starts in such a situation because I am a storyteller. I am considering that this is the occasion for me to share my story. If it can inspire some people or at least anyone, that is the success of my speech. So I told you that I selected my profession not because of chance or choice, because of my life situations. Why do you know? I was born and brought up in an Orthodox family having a legacy and reputation. But as a part of that family, I didn't know that what are the things girls can do in this society, because I do believe that we have to lead a wonderful family and we are the center of attraction of the family. So during my adolescence, I had a lot of dreams, but I didn't have the dare to talk about my dreams to anyone else in this world, at least to my parents. I was very shy and I didn't have clarity on what to do in my life. Really, I wanted to be a medico because I was very much fascinated with my grandfather. He was a medico and how he saved the life of people really influenced me. But at that time, as a girl, I didn't have the desire to talk with my parents that I want to be a medico. I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I had to select my career as a mathematician at first. But during that time when I was 20 years old, it had happened in my life because my father had to face a big flop in his business. The more high you will be, the more doubt you have to face if you are falling down. That was my situation. It was a shock in our life that we had lost everything at the age of 20 of mine. And finally, I came to know that my father had sold everything we had, and one day morning itself, I realized that this is the last day we have to stay in our home because he already had sold that home too. See, when I was born and brought up in a house, and on one fine morning itself, I came to know that it already sold out. That day was quite conditional for me. That day changed my life because you know, on the last day when we spent in that home, on that particular day I was expecting there is a chance for a whole suicide in that family. I was eagerly waiting that what my father is going to talk to us, that can we do something, can we escape from all these burdens and the debts. As a girl having just 20 years old, having so much of dreams in her life, you just imagine what will be the situation. She is eagerly waiting what her father is going to ask to them. And our neighbors also afraid that the family will do something in an advanced manner. So that's why some of our neighbors came to our home and they asked to my father, what you are going to do, what is your plan? On that moment I saw that tears are coming from my father's eyes and it is flowing through his cheeks. And I didn't want to say anything by seeing that pathetic condition, because I never ever seen my father in such a situation. He was one of the most reputed person, most respectable person that I had ever seen in my life. When the neighbors asked about what is your plan and what you are planning to do, through that tears, he simply looked at me and he called me nearby his side. And I went to his place and I just sat down nearby him. And by hugging me, my father told to that neighbors that I had lost everything. I had lost all the assets. What are the things my ancestors had given me? What are the things I earned in my life? I had lost everything. But what are the things I had lost in my life? I had only one thing, one asset is with me. That is my daughter. I am sure she is not only my daughter, he is my son too. That is the moment I realized that how my father considered myself as a source of energy, power and potential. From there itself I realized that where there is a she, there is a he. Where there is a woman, there is a man. Where there is a female, there is a male. When these two things are merging together, when the potential of the internal potential, when we can find ourselves, there starts history, there starts the story. My story starts on that day when I was 20 years old. It was not the end. Again and again I had to face a lot of bitter experiences in my life, because at the age of 20 I had lost my house. At the age of 21, 22, my selection with my career, everything was in vain, and after that I had lost all the dreams of my life. So at the age of 23 I realized that my life was a failure. I couldn't do the promise that I had given to my father too. On that moment itself, I was afraid of the public. I couldn't see the public. I always wanted to sit in a place inside of my room. Then I realized that something is going to happen with me. And slowly I realized that I am slowly stepping into the ugly hands of depression. And on that day, I had to connect with a psychologist. He is the person who connected me to the world of mind and psychology. From there itself, I came to know that how the thoughts are processing, perception, cognition, so many things I came to know. So I became so much fascinated to the subject psychology. But on that day, that person also told me one important line. It's a gift. I consider it as a gift. And the concept is like that. Whatever the things others can take from you, only one thing will be remaining with you always. That is the only thing. That is your skills, your potential and your ability. No one can steal that. No one can take it away from you. That is the moment I realized that, yes, I have certain ambitions. I had some dreams, but I don't know who will help me, from where I will get the helping hand. And from that moment itself, I realized that this is the savior of my life. That savior is my skills. No one is here to push me up to be a successful person in my life. That is the second incident happened in my life. Again, life go in such a way, and I got married with a wonderful person. God helped me in that. But then after that, God gifted us a boy. There also, a lot of challenges came in my life. The thing is, the child couldn't speak at the age of 3. The child started to show the symptoms of neurodevelopmental disorders, and that situation made me very pathetic, because the people asked me that why this child is behaving like this. The child started to mock at me, because you are a psychologist by profession, then why your child is performing like this, behaving like this. And only because of that child, I started to think about how to support the neurodivergent children. From my journey with that, at the age of 3, my son started to speak.
At the age of 9, my son wrote his first book and published. At the age of 10, my son started his own international organization having presence in 58 countries. At the age of 11, he published his second book. At the age of 40, now he is representing Indian youth on behalf of India. And all the things happened in my life, this is only because of one important matter, that is a simple word, a simple action, or a simple gesture, or a simple conversation, how it can touch the mind of an ordinary person to become an extraordinary one.
I do consider in my life that what is motivating me, only motivating factor in my life is challenges and problems. What are the challenges I had faced in my life? They made me an ordinary girl to an extraordinary person who can fight and defend with whatever the situation it may be. Because I do believe that if we can fight for something, it will help us to be a better version of ourselves. So that's why I want to tell each and every one of you that if you want to do something, if you want to be a better version of yourself, consider, you can hug, you can acknowledge, you can invite the challenges and the problems, because the challenges and the problems are not coming in your life for breaking you, it's only for making you. The making of a real queen or king in yourself is not because of the opportunities. You just try to understand one thing. Ability, if you have ability, my father realized that I have ability, but I didn't have clarity because I didn't know from where I will get opportunities. But the challenges made me a person having a lot of opportunities to redesign myself. So my request to each one of you who gathered here is, whenever you are getting an opportunity to attend a problem or to fight with a challenge, you just imagine that this is the best moment God has given to you for a change in yourself. Because these should be working as a catalyst for change. So in this present scenario, when I sharing my story, I would like to add one more thing. I'm really a fan of this new generation. Because whatever the things I had learned because of this much years of bitter experience of my life, all the things the current generation, they possessed. That is the change in the past generation and the old generation. Because you know, at the age of 23, when I realized that I had a lot of failures in my life, I was trapped and I had dreams, but I didn't know what is the way to achieve that. But the present generation, they have clarity that we didn't have in our adolescence or when we were like 20s. So in this present condition, everyday morning I want to add one social situation to everyday morning. We are looking into the newspaper and we are saying that why this world changed this much, why the people are polluted this much, why this new generation are doing this much. But we should understand one thing, the present generation, their energy, their dynamism, their skills, their creativity, everything was really amazing. So that's why in my life, what I am following means I am following the current generation too. Because what we have to do means we have to possess the wisdom of the millennials or the old generation, and we have to combine it with the clarity of the present generation. Because you know, the most important thing, we have to realize our power. In this situation, I want to tell you about an elephant and a mahout. Do you know what is the relevance of a mahout if the elephant is realizing its real power? So whenever we are realizing our power, only at that time itself, we have clarity on our opinions. We have clarity on our rights. We have clarity on our purpose. Otherwise, we will be living as people pleasers. Because in my personal life, why I delayed so much years for being in the right track, it's only because of I was a people pleaser. The most important thing is we have to self-realize who am I. That is the important question. And in this present time, I would like to tell you one important thing. Life is like an egg. Life is like an egg. What is the speciality of an egg? Even if we are considering our life as an egg, if the
egg is breaking by the outside pressure, what will happen? Can you guess it? If this egg is breaking with an external pressure of peers, maybe different addictions, maybe others' opinions, whatever may be the other pressures it is influencing to break that egg, someone will be making that the egg of your life as a bullseye. That is the end of your life, right? But you try to understand one thing. If that the egg of your life is breaking with an internal pressure, internal motivation, internal urge to do something, to be the better version of yourself, that egg will break with the internal pressure. That will be a new life, that is a new chick, that is the redefined version of you. By seeing that redefined person, people will be saying very proudly that I am very happy because I am the dear and near of this person. I am the teacher of this person. I am the native of this person. If you can create that day in your life, that is what is known as the success in your life. And I wish you, all of you, to have that internal pressure in your life to break the eggs of your life, to become a new version of you. Thank you so much.